Zarkowitz, your host, April the 4th, 2016. My guest this morning is Eli Ayub. Good morning, Eli.
Good morning, Bob.
Nice to have you with me again.
Thank you for having me on the show.
This is your monthly appearance. What's the update in the dining services that we have this morning?
Well, let's see. We got some, let's start with the fun stuff. We got some good things happening.
Good.
As you know, we have a very active dining committee this year.
Oh, yes, indeed.
Our dining chair and our liaison to the council are very active. And we just recently, at the dining committee, we approved the new menu enhancement protocols. And this is basically discusses the menus, how often do we change them, the availabilities of the menus. There's a whole page based on residents' choice menus. In the past about 5 weeks in the dining room, we passed out small cards asking residents to tell us what is their favorite menu items. So we collected about at least 500 different cards. And with those cards, actually, right now, we created a whole page on the menu, and that's going to be the residents' choice menus. Those menus, actually, we're going to start training right now in the next couple of weeks before we roll them out. But before we make any changes, next Wednesday at 10 o'clock in the morning, next Tuesday at 10 o'clock in the morning, we're going to have a small town hall inviting the residents to come in and discuss some of these menu enhancement and the changes and some of the layouts. And part of the discussions, we're going to discuss the cafe, how to improve the traffic flow in the cafe, looking at the menu items, looking at the menu choices. We'll also be discussing the Jeffersons. And for the Jeffersons, for the residents at the Jeffersons, you've got your filet back. So that's a great thing. The residents have been asking me for it, and it's back on the menu. So, and then the crab cake and the salmon also is going to come on the menu as an always available items. And we're going to have a whole new set of menus, hopefully in the next 2 weeks as well. So that will give us the new menus for the Jefferson, Fireside, the cafe, and the Woodland Skies.
In your presentation, you mentioned about the cards.
Yes, sir.
To this day, I still hear comments occasionally, oh, they don't read these cards.
We read those cards every single day, even the dining committee and the subcommittees. We tally all these cards and I read them one by one. Our action plan is based on the feedback that comes in from the residents, either on these cards or by the one who approached us directly.
I wonder if maybe it might cause some more work, but I was wondering if there could be some kind of a pamphlet put out once a month with maybe highlighting 5 major questions by the residents with your answers. Would that be plausible or no?
That will be possible as soon as we get the, we're working on a dining services newsletter. I have a couple of residents volunteers that are gonna help us with editing and printing the newsletters. So on a monthly basis, part of the newsletter will have a question answers based on those common cards. Oh, so this is work in progress, so that the residents know.
You're looking into it.
Yes, we are looking into it.
Very good.
Actually, I cannot wait to have the newsletter out. So this way the residents get to know more about the dining services and get to learn more about different recipes, and also get the comments from the dining committees and get the committee chair and all that thing that goes on within the dining services department as well.
How often do you meet with your managers or your executive chefs?
This is every single week. Every Wednesday around 11:30 we meet. This is all the operation managers, the general managers, and every week we meet with all the executive chefs. So this is a standard meeting that we discuss the operations. We look at the staff engagement. We also discuss residents' satisfaction, look at the menus, and we look at the different events that's coming up and see, what's coming up next. What should we do that is more fun for our residents. So that's on a weekly basis.
What is coming up next as reference to
Mother's Day is
Mother's Day?
Mother's Day. So
We have a special menu coming
we're gonna
up?
have special menus coming up, and it should be a nice celebrated themed dinner.
I'm
So
sure
let's
it
get
will
ready.
be.
Yeah.
You have to prepare for a crowd.
That's good. We want that crowd to come. We want family to come in and see what we do and how well we do it.
If you have a major function such as Mother's Day, you don't have to go out and hire additional chefs, do you?
Oh, no,
No.
no. We have enough staff and great chefs in here that will prepare a very good meal.
Do we have any kind of entertainment, maybe a pianist planned?
We're still working on it. We might. So I'm still thinking between either a pianist or ice sculptures outside the East dining room. So
Oh,
one or the other. So we were still under discussion. It's going to be a really nice menus. It's going to be a fun day, and stay tuned.
Well,
Speaking
I'm
of
looking
chef,
forward to that. Look
just to-
forward.
thank you. Speaking of chefs, just to let our residents know, our executive chef Nick in Fireside resigned, and we are now in the process of hiring.
Nick is leaving?
Nick have left us. His last day was last Saturday, and he moved on to a different opportunity. So now we are in the process of hiring an executive chef for Fireside.
So maybe next month we'll discuss that.
Next month.
The new hire.
True. The best part is we have some culinary staff internally that are very capable of doing the job. So we're interviewing and looking at our current talent and see if there is anybody is ready to be promoted for that positions.
So I'll turn to the camera and say, stay tuned. We'll have
Absolutely.
next month we'll know. Getting back to the cafe, you mentioned very briefly that you and your staff are looking into maybe a better resident flow. Would you be taking down that partition that separates the dining area from the salad bar, etc.?
I would love to move the salad bar to a different location or even move that partitions. Right now, this year, we're probably not. Next year, when we reposition Town Center, that will probably be part of the design and try to reposition some of these, between the salad bar and the cash register and all that. For now is we're trying to figure out a way with our existence layout and see how we are able to improve the flow. Especially we have a very large number of residents asking us for that salad bar. They want that self-serve salad bar. So we started last week to see if this is something we are able or capable of doing. And so far the flow is good. It's just we really need to see how we can improve the flow and how we can, improve the timing on the hot sandwich maker area. That tends to take a little bit longer time than usual. But then how does the resident cross from the sandwich area back to the salad bar, back to the dessert, and down to the cash register? So we're trying to figure out different ways, see how we're able to improve that flow.
The movement of the salad bar was, at least the thinking. Is that a result of maybe some comments that you received or no?
To move the salad bar, no, it's just, I'm looking at moving the salad bar just to improve the flow in that whole center area.
Efficiency. Huh?
The efficiency. If we can take the salad bar and just move that whole unit toward the wall somewhere, back to the wall somewhere, that open up that whole center area. So nothing now stopping you in the middle, especially if a resident has a mobility device or walkers. It tend to be kind of a little bit tight, and that will, if we're able to move that salad bar sometime next year or through the repositioning Town Center, then that would be a good thing to do. But for now, it is gonna stay what it is. It's we just need to find ways to improve that flow. Especially the number of residents have increased. that the one going through the cafe. We're averaging no less than 400 residents every single evening coming to the cafe.
400?
About 400, about 150
Really?
of those are doing takeouts. So the cafe is a very busy place for a 120 seats dining room. We're trying different ways to see how we can improve that flow, and also how we're able to continue to cook and improve the timing process. How long is it taking us to grill a steak or a hamburger? How long is it taking us to get the food? And the buffet with the cafe, it is still some of that batch cooking for the buffet side area for the entree. So we're looking to see how we can improve the timings, and also how we are able to maintain that quality and keep the food hot.
While we're talking about the cafe, the manager of Fireside is also the overseer or the manager of the cafe?
Yes. Maurice Dunbar, the general manager, she oversees the cafe and Firesides.
And also you mentioned something about, in addition to the menu at the cafe?
We are putting a whole new menus for the cafe, and that will be more of a themed luncheons, and see how we can have a carving station in the cafe on a daily basis.
A carving station?
Carving stations. I mean, that's new. There's a lot of residents' requests to like carved turkey, carved brisket, or flank steaks. There's a lot of things.
I think people would be pleased to hear that.
That's what we're working on. Our main goal is to please our residents and to improve the service and that quality of the food. And it's a work in progress. I know it's not going to happen overnight, but it is continue to improve. The Fireside and the cafe, it's work in progress. Have come a long way. We still have, we're still working on it. The same thing with Jefferson and Woodland Sky. It's a work in progress. So we're working on the service and working on how to better deliver a good, healthy, and a healthy meal and pleasant service to our residents.
Ali, we're down to the final minute or so. One last question. Is your door always open to any suggestions?
Definitely, please, at any time any resident have any questions or comments, just come down and see me.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, and just a reminder, I'm looking forward to see a lot of residents next week at the town hall. There's some really good enhancement.
Where's it going to be held?
Down at the theater.
Okay.
So stay tuned. The notice is going out today. There'll be some refreshment right outside the room. So if anybody want to have any sidebar conversation with me, I'm able to sit down and answer any questions. But there's a lot to discuss. We have an action plan that we put in based on the resident satisfaction survey, and also the new menus and some of the enhancement and the changes that's coming up.
Wednesday, theater.
10 o'clock.
10 o'clock, refreshments.
Yes.
Thank you, Ali.
Eli, thank you.
I'll look forward to seeing you again next month.
Thank you, Bob. I'll see you next month.